Okay, let's see if we can. All right. Well, a very pleasant, good midday to you, everyone. Oops, we got something is not right over here. Let's see. Let's see here. Yeah, that's that and that. Okay, just one moment. We're still trying to get some things here right. Oh boy. Let's stop that. Delete. Mhm. There we go. Okay, there we go. All right. Hopefully we're third time will be the charm here. Okay. Thanks. As we are broadcasting in five, four, three, two, one. Well, a very pleasant good afternoon to you, everyone. Hi, my name is Pastor Charles Williams, and I'm founder and the creator of the concept known and used all over the world today as the Amber Alert here in the United States of America, Amber Alert EU throughout all of Europe, and the Child Rescue Alert in other parts of the world. This is a very special broadcast that I wanted to come in and do right now. As of this moment, um, there are no active Amber Alerts. But I did want to come in and talk to y'all just a moment. I've taken a couple of days to just stop and ponder and think about what it is I wanted to say in this particular broadcast. As many of you know, this weekend um, there were two mass shootings, one in El Paso, Texas, uh, and one in Dayton, Ohio. We pray and we grieve for all of those families that have been affected by this tragic epidemic of violence. There is there was one person in the midst of all of the carnage that took place that touched our lives, that touched this broadcasting network, that touched this location. It's this young man right here. He is the oldest one who was shot and killed in Dayton by that deranged gunman, and his name is Derek Fudge. And that name may not just ring a bell to a lot of people, but when I finish sharing the story, I believe you'll have a better appreciation for who he was. Derek was a young man whom my wife and I know their family, members of their family. Uh, their family, listen, they don't come any better than this family, okay? Um, Salt of the earth people would give you the shirt off of his back, okay? And one example of that is that about 9 years ago, we needed help in moving from one location to another location. Uh, at the time, I was going through some physical challenges, and I was not able to lift things to move as we needed to move. And this young man right here, Derek Fudge, this young man right here, he and his sister Twyla and some other prayer partners that meet with my wife, on a regular basis. They loaded up the car with cleaning supplies and drove down and pushed me out of the way basically and said, "You just tell us what room to move and we'll move it." Okay, that's the kind of person that we lost on Saturday night. I have many friends that I tried to call and ask them to come and to help me move. They didn't come. But Derek, whom I didn't know was coming, he showed up, and in the words of some people, he worked like a Hebrew slave. Okay, they moved. We had a multi-level house. We had a basement plus 2 floors, and they moved every stitch of furniture out of that house, out of our studio in the other house, and moved it over here to where I'm sitting right now. And so the tragedy that took place on the other night, it touches home with me because we lost a good man. We lost a good man, and I'm going to let you hear. I know those of y'all on Periscope and those of y'all on Instagram, you probably haven't seen this clip that I'm about to share with you yet. If you saw it on CNN last night, then you know what I'm talking about. But I'm going to let you share. I'm going to share with you rather the clip from CNN last night of his sister Twyla talking about the kind of person that we lost early Sunday morning. Y'all, we lost somebody. You're talking about somebody. Listen, how many friends do you know that would stop what they're doing, come from out of town to move you, and then go back and won't take a dime for it? Wouldn't take a dime if I gave it to them for it. Okay? That's the kind of big hearted, gentle, kind individual that we lost on Sunday. And Derek, to the Fudge family, Twyla, Randy, all of you, our prayers, our prayers are with you. I can't say thank you enough. We told y'all thank you when y'all helped move us some 9+ years ago, and it our heart just sunk when we learned that it was him. And because they moved us here, I felt that I wanted to come on the Amber News Network set and personally let the world know the kind of person that gun violence took away from us early Sunday morning here in Dayton. Give me just a moment. Let me find the clip from his sister, and I'm going to play this clip. I want to thank Don Lemon and CNN for doing what they did to allow Twyla to share with the world her brother's story. Okay? He may be gone now, but we're going to make sure that the world knows that he was here. Okay? Here we go. Here's the clip.
To bring in now Twyla Southall, whose brother Derek Fudge was killed early Sunday in the city's Oregon district. Twyla, I'm so sorry that we're talking under these circumstances. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing? And I want you to talk to me about your brother Derek. You were just with him on Saturday.
Yes, I am doing okay. I think it started sinking in a lot more today when we went to the funeral home to view the body and to make arrangements. And the last time I had saw him, as you referenced, was Saturday in Springfield, Ohio. We were at the C.J. Brown Reservoir having a family cookout reunion, and I drove down from Columbus, and family members, some of them flew in from out of state, and many of them from Springfield were there, and we were enjoying the day. It was a beautiful day. We were playing cornhole and volleyball, and some went fishing. One of my aunts was sharing her testimony that she had just received the diagnosis on Tuesday that she was cancer free. So we were celebrating life.
Yeah.
And to see Derek was, I had not seen him in a little while, and we were sitting down talking as I was eating, and he was sharing with me the things that, had been occurring in his life, and he had gotten a new car, and his dog was in the car. He loved his dog, Lucy Lou. He was excited about his granddaughter. He has one son and one granddaughter. His granddaughter's upcoming birthday, he was going to be painting her bedroom for her. And he was just telling me, where he was in life, because he's had a few bumps in life. He's been knocked down a few times, but the good thing about him is he kept getting up and he kept trying. And it was good to see him on the upswing and happy about life. And I didn't know that was the last and alive. I probably would have stayed and talked a little longer with him, but I am glad that is the memory that I do have with him, and it is a good memory.
Sorry, your story's very familiar to me, having lost my sister. You never imagine that that's the last time that you're going to see them. Never in a million years. And
never. And my condolences to you.
No, thank you. But it's not about me. It's just that as you were describing it, it just brought it home, because it was a very similar experience that I had recently. And you said that I've been reading and I've been hearing about him that he would give you the shirt off of his back. Yeah. You said he had some knots,
yes, he would,
but he kept getting up, and he was one of the kindest people that you could ever meet.
Absolutely.
He would, and he, in all honesty, he didn't have a lot, but what he had, he was willing to share and to give. Just as that is a good description of him, that he would give you the shirt off of his back. He was a kind guy. He was a good guy, and I just, it's such a tragic end to a life that he was enjoying living.
His son was with him that night. How's he doing?
Yes, he was. My nephew we're with him, he's doing about as best as can be expected. He actually came to the funeral home with us today, which I was not expecting, because he literally was with him. He was side by side when my brother got shot. And
what did he tell you about that night, Twyla?
He told me that they had come out of one of the clubs and they were standing outside near one of the taco stands, and he said that as they were standing there, that he saw the gunman come from around the building, and he had the mask on. And my nephew said that he thought it was surreal. He did not, he didn't really think the guy was really real, that it was legit. And he said that the gunman had a gun in his hand, and he lifted it up and started shooting. And my nephew still was kind of, taken aback, not knowing what was going on. His fiance was there with him too, and she told me she got down immediately and told everyone, get down. And eventually my nephew did get down, but he just didn't, I don't think he processed it immediately. But once the gunman passed by them, actually walked over my niece to go by them, probably thinking he had shot her. And when he got across the street and they said that the gunshots seemed to have died down, then that's when my nephew said, listen, let's go, because it was pandemonium. It was just crazy. So he said, let's get out of here, because people were running. And so they started getting up, but my brother didn't get up. He said that he reached down. It's 1 a.m., so it's dark, and he said, Dad, let's go. And he said that when he looked down at my brother, that his words were that it was like my brother was trying to breathe as a fish that is out of water. He was late. His breathing was labored, and he was struggling. So my nephew bent down to see what the problem was and to help him. And he said that as he bent down near my brother, he began to see blood coming from what appeared to be the back of his head. And he realized that he had been wounded or likely shot. And then he really kind of lost composure, and he said he fell on my brother, and he was holding him in his arms, because I think he was realizing that the life was leaving him. And then the police came over because they were there, as has been reported, and they tried to. He said at that point, my nephew said it was like they were trying to pry me off of my dad because he was clinging on to him, realizing that his life was leaving him at that point. So it's very sad, and I think of all people, he probably is definitely the most impacted, and we are praying really hard for him and trusting God to strengthen him and to bring him through. Not even I can imagine really having to live through what he has. You cannot unsee that. You cannot unlive that. That's a memory that's forever going to be etched in his heart, unfortunately. I am so happy that my brother was with his son, his only son, but I am not happy that my nephew was with his dad, because my nephew will forever have to live with that memory, and it is a horrible memory. But I am grateful that my brother was with the son, that the only son he has, the son, just like the light of his life.
Philosophical, very simple. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's the life, and that's the type of person that Derek was. Okay, literally, as Don and Twyla were talking about, he would literally give you the shirt off of his back, and we sit here today. We benefit here today because he took the time to come and help us move into our current location. And so I wanted to come in and just let all of my platforms know the type of person that he was. Twyla said something in her interview with Don Lemon. She said, Twyla says that he didn't have much, but he was always willing to share. Okay? And I will say this. She may know that maybe he didn't have much. And yes, he was always willing to share. But I will say this in response to that. You can be rich in many ways. And Derek was rich in many ways. And one in which I would like to highlight right now is that Derek, I wrote this down, Derek was rich in deeds. Okay? You heard how he was, making plans and preparing to paint a room for his granddaughter, and preparing to do other things. That's the kind of person that he was. That's the kind of person. That's the thing that brought joy to him, was helping others like he helped us. So Derek was very, very rich, and I want the family to know this. He may not have had much, as some people count much, but Derek was very, very rich in deeds, in helping others. And can I announce to you that out of all that he did for us, and out of all that he did with us on that day, some 9 years ago, he didn't ask for a dime. Okay? He didn't ask for a dime. I was thinking, I was going to need to make arrangements to give him some money. He didn't ask for a dime. That's true. That's somebody who's true and really in it to help you. So to the family, I just wanted to come in and just do this special little broadcast and close by saying this. Derek helped move us to this location. Derek is gone now. And who knows? Maybe when I get ready to make my transition to heaven, I think there may be a brother around there that'll help me make my transition. A guy with a heart, or a guy just like this guy, Derek Fudge. I want to thank all of you for taking the time to watch this very special broadcast. You know, when people do something for you, it's always a common courtesy to say thank you. And though Derek cannot hear me on this earth, I know from the portals of heaven, he'll look back, looking down and saying, I remember that. Thank you, Derek. Thank you. Everything that we do going forward, everything that we do, every child that we help save and rescue, be a star in your crown, because you, sir, helped move us here to get our studio set up and our home set up so that we could do what we are currently doing with Amber Alerts. Thank you, Derek. We so appreciate you, and to the family. Just know that while he lived, a lot of people may not have known about him. But as he leaves, as he has now left us, the world will know that here lived, or here lied, a good man who loved doing good deeds for others. If there is one word that could sum up, in my opinion, if there's one word that could sum up my experience in knowing and experiencing the help from Derek, there's one word that I would put a stamp over his life, it would be others. Because it seems as though, as Twyla was saying, he lived to help others. And I am a benefactor of that. And this network is a benefactor of that help today. Thanks for watching. God bless you, and may God continue to bless these United States of America. Bye-bye now. A good man, a good man, a good man, gone far too soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye now.